Before this video starts, I just want to say rest in peace to Kentaro Miura, the guy who made Berserk, because without him, this video would never be happening and we would have never gotten this series. So rest in peace to him. Hello everyone, I'm Alzar, and this is part 1 of my first read-through of Berserk. I'm already a fan of a lot of anime and manga, but for some reason I never actually read Berserk. I've seen edits of Griffith and the egg with the eyes. I've heard people say that Griffith is the most evil guy ever put into writing, but I never picked up the series and actually read it. I'm hoping as the chapters get shorter I can pack more into these videos, but until then, this will be kind of a discussion video, just what my thoughts are as I go through the first arc of Berserk, the Black Swordsman arc. The intro to Berserk, aka Chapter 1, was really helpful as it gave me a perfect look into the world that our main character Guts lives in, while also giving us a whole look at Guts and what kinda drives him. When I first see Guts, he's scarred all over his body. He's missing an arm that's replaced with a mechanical one, and he has one eye. It also seems as if he's emotionally scarred as well. Clearly he's gone through some crazy things throughout his life. Even though he's scarred all over his body, he's still super strong, as we see him wield his gigantic sword with one arm and can cleave through demons and horses and men with one swipe. We also see Puck in this first chapter, and to my surprise, he lives throughout this entire arc. As I came into the series, I thought Puck seemed too upbeat and emotional compared to Guts, so I thought he would die to show people reading that the series is dark and sad. Instead, Puck lives and acts as a sort of reason. When Guts starts saying stuff like people are weak and they can't survive on their own, Puck comes in and starts yelling at Guts every single time, telling him he's wrong. Puck clearly is here to teach Guts some kind of lesson in humility or empathy. Now that the introductions are out of the way, we can get to the important things that were shown in this arc. First, the monsters, or later on, known as demons. As we can see, the first demon we see is the one from Coca Castle, the gigantic Cobra demon. The demon had no backstory, but he said he was an apostle of the God Hand, some very important characters later, and knew of Guts' brand of sacrifice that was on his neck. We don't know if the Cobra demon was a human and turned into a demon, or if he was just a demon the whole time somehow summoned to the earth. Unlike later, when we're introduced to the Count, who is said to have been human before becoming a demon. Later on, in the Count's backstory, we see that his wife, which he loved very much, was part of some freaky-ass cult orgy, like a statue of a demon overlooking it, and the Count killed everyone in that room. But he couldn't bring himself to kill his wife. After he couldn't bring himself to kill his wife, he decided he needed to end his own. And his desire to end his life and possibly for revenge brings the group we know as the God Hand to him. The God Hand, who, as we see in the flashback, were only 4 people compared to the 5 people we see now, are all powerful beings that can grant one's deepest desire, but at a cost. It seems so far that the extent the God Hand has at turning one's deepest desire into reality is that they turn most people into demons. And that if you die after they give you eternal life but not an eternal body, then they cast your soul into eternal suffering in hell. To get your desire, you must sacrifice something you love very deeply, which we can see in turn casts the brand of sacrifice onto your body, the same brand that Guts has on his neck. We can conclude that Guts was part of some kind of sacrifice ritual that included the God Hand. The tool that summons the God Hand is the Behelit, the golden egg with eyes. I've personally seen in TikTok edits. This egg will respond to one's deepest desires rooted in fear and despair. The egg will then rearrange its face and start screaming before crying tears of blood, and then summoning the God Hand. When we see the God Hand, we see that one of the members is indeed Griffith, now named Femto. The guy that looks like one of the aliens from Mars Attacks is called Archangel Void. The rest of the God Hand remain unnamed. After the God Hand is summoned, they require you to have a sacrifice ready, mainly someone or something you hold near and dear to your heart. This makes it look like the God Hand are indeed the devil, and if you make a deal, you can get your deepest desire and more, at the cost of your eternal soul as you die. When you die, you're cursed to eternal pain in hell. Now we can get to a little bit of a prediction time. As we can see, Griffith is part of the God Hand, and the reasons Guts has his brand of sacrifice. I can only assume that Griffith, somewhere earlier on, decided to try to sacrifice the guts and maybe more people because he succeeded as part of the God Hand. It's either that or he had another desire and they thought he was strong enough, so they took him on as part of the God Hand anyway. I can see the last part being true because they see Guts and his tenacity and his strength when he attacks Griffith, and they want him to be part of the God Hand. But they say he can't because he's not ordained by the laws of fate, which seem to be some kind of requirement to be part of the God Hand. Maybe Griffith failed in the sacrifice, but they saw him as strong, so they took him on anyway. The origin of the Behelit is also very shrouded in mystery, as the Count seemed to get the item by purchasing it at a wandering merchant's cart. A very normal way to get an item that can summon very all-powerful beings. I think something else is at play there. Maybe someone else, like a third party, is trying to see how people can summon the God Hand so frequently. Maybe the God Hand made those items and have their servants or apostles sell them to further send ruin in the human world. We see already that they have the ability to bend time and space and to turn people into demons. Why let that be the stopping point? Well, that's the end for this video, but expect a part 2 soon, because I did like this beginning arc a lot. I can also see that the next arc is titled The Golden Age, and that sounds pretty promising. So if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below if there's any other series I should maybe read / binge and review. See you guys in the next video, and peace.